Hey guys, I'm looking at Romans chapter 13, 8 through 14. Excuse me. It says love fulfills God's requirements. Owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirements of the law. For the commandments say you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up in this one commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to others, so love fulfills the requirements of God's law. This is all more urgent, for you know how late it is. Time is running out. Wake up, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. The night is almost gone. The day of salvation will soon be here, so remove your dark deeds like dirty clothes and put on the shining armor of right living. Because we belong to the day, we must live decent lives for all to see. Don't participate in the darkness of wild parties and drunkenness, or in sexual promiscuity and immoral living, or in quarreling and jealousy. Instead, clothe yourself with the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ, and don't let yourself think about ways to indulge your evil desires. So let's look at some of the commentary. Why is love for others called an obligation? We are permanently in debt to Christ for the lavish love He has poured out on us. The only way we can even begin to repay this debt is by feeling our obligation to love others in turn. Because Christ's love will always be infinitely greater than ours, we will always have the obligation to love our neighbors. Romans 13:9 commentary. Somehow, many of us have gotten the idea that self-love is wrong, but if it were the case, it would be pointless to love our neighbors as ourselves. Paul explains what he means by self-love. Even if you have low self-esteem, you probably don't willingly let yourself go hungry. You take care of your body and may even exercise. You clothe yourself reasonably well. You make sure there's a roof over your head. You try not to let yourself be cheated or injured. This is the kind of love we need to have for our neighbors. Do we see that others are fed, clothed, and housed as well as they can be? Are we concerned about issues of social justice? Loving others as ourselves means actively working to see that their needs are met. Interestingly, people who focus on others rather than on themselves rarely suffer from so low self-esteem. Romans 13:10 commentary. Christians must obey the law of love, which supersedes both religious and civil laws. How easy it is to excuse our indifference to others merely because we have no legal obligation to help them, and even to justify harming them if our actions are technically legal. But Jesus does not leave loopholes in the law of love. Whether love demands it, we are to go beyond human legal requirements and imitate the God of love. Romans 13:12-14. The night refers to the present evil time. The day refers to the time of Christ's return. Some people are surprised that Paul lists fighting and jealousy with the gross and obvious sins of drunkenness and immorality. Like Jesus in his Sermon on the Mount, Paul considers attitudes as important as actions. Just as hatred leads to murder, so jealousy leads to strife, and lust to adultery. When Christ returns, He wants to find His people clean on the inside as well as on the outside. Romans 13:14. How do we clothe ourselves with the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ? First, we identify with Christ by being baptized. This shows us solidarity with other Christians and with the death, burial, resurrection of Jesus Christ. Second, we exemplify the qualities Jesus showed while He was here on earth: love, humility, truth, service. In a sense, we role play what Jesus would do in our situation. We also must avoid those situations that open the door to gratifying sinful desires. Okay guys, so basically he's saying that love fulfills all the commandments, and it says love does not do wrong to others, so love fulfills the requirements of the law. Love your neighbor as yourself. So it says love your neighbor as yourself. Romans 13. Let's see, 13:9. For the commandments say you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, You must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up in this one commandment. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to others, so love fulfills the requirements of God's law. So yeah, there you have it, guys. That's the message for today. Romans 13, 8 through 14. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. God bless, and peace.